Good afternoon, everybody. It is May 3rd. Wow, May 3rd. 10 more days, and I'm not working. I'm out for the summer. But here's something. Yesterday and today have been very good days. Yesterday I had a really good day. But then come 6:30, 7 o'clock, I was just crashing. I was crashing in the sense of that I was getting tired. I was getting ready to go to sleep. I was like, "Yep, okay. I've been up for 13, almost 14 hours. I'm ready to go to bed." And then of course Jerry and I fell asleep a relatively decent hour. Jerry has her phone set up where after a certain time it doesn't make any sounds. It doesn't ring or anything like that. And she also has it where if um an unknown phone call or a phone call that's not 911, like her sisters or me or mom, of course, why would that's in case I'm not here and have to call her. But anyhow, we got a phone call from an unknown caller at 1:40 something in the middle of 1:40 a.m. Well, nevertheless, it didn't wake us up, of course not. But Jerry had woken up 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, um, and had found a voice message to her. Basically, the person was trying to fake working for my company or my employer, basically, saying that I didn't need to come into work. I laughed my butt off right off the bat. I just started laughing, like, are you kidding me? How stupid is this person thinking we are? Well, because of the fact I know it was bogus in the whole 9 yards because I know who my people are. They have my phone number. They can call me directly. Well, nevertheless, this person who's just trying to make our lives miserable, but in actuality is making us laugh our butts off, had called Jerry once again earlier in the afternoon, basically offering to come over and help Jerry because Jerry's not getting the help that this person thinks Jerry deserves, whatever the issue is. But didn't leave a phone number, and because of the fact that she's basically coming on as an unknown, we don't deal with unknowns. We let the answering machine deal with that. But anyhow, this person offered up, assistance of sorts, but doesn't leave a name or number. Then she calls back a few minutes later to leave a phone number. My wife and I are not exactly foolish, so we decided instead of calling the number directly, we just looked it up. And the phone number was for the St. Louis Zoo. Now, knowing what you need to know about what's been going on with this numbnuts making phone calls, I have to now reach out because I'm assuming they watch my videos as well. I'm not going to reach out. I have 2 cents to put in. First off, you're wasting your time because we're not paying attention. If anything, we're just getting a good laugh out of it. Second off, since you left the phone number that you want to be contacted at is the St. Louis Zoo, I have to ask, which part of the zoo are you living in? Because you're either living with the orangutans and chimpanzees, or you're part of the St. Louis Zoo. Very few people actually want to go and visit because it's the snake house. I mean, very few people want to go to the snake house. So you have to leave an extension so I know, which part of the zoo that you live in so I can, call up and, you know, talk to you directly. Because you're either a snake in the grass or you're a monkey. I'm not even going to give you a quality of calling me a chimpanzee. Sorry, I just put food in my mouth, not thinking. I should have kept those away from me while I was doing the video. Let me just tell you this much as well. I shared the information about the phone call saying that I didn't have to come into work with my supervisors and a couple of my coworkers. Not only did I tell them about it, but I shared them the voice message because our phones saves voice messages for however long we want to keep them on our phones. And Jerry sent the message to me plus the phone log, the log of what tells us what time this call comes in. And everybody I told about this call were just looking at me like, is this person stupid or what? And I was like, they just have nothing better to do with their time. They're up until butt crack, who knows what time of the day. But I was just like, this is what happens. And yes, I accept the fact that this kind of stuff happens because we put ourselves out there. But the thing is, it does not have to happen because there's no, one, you're wasting your time. Two, it's not going to get you anywhere except for maybe, in a court of law for harassment if we decide to take it to a court of law. You think you're smart by blocking your number, but in actuality, if it gets to a legal situation, most phone companies have to relinquish any phone call records to the complainants, in other words, me and my wife, so they can find out who this person is and do what is necessary to prevent it or to stop it. I'm pretty sure because I listened to the voicemail from this morning multiple times, and in the background there was noises, and most of those noises either sound a lot like fake office noises. Like, I can tell it was on a loop because I can hear the loop. That and a factor, like I said, anybody who has to contact me from work for whatever reason, whether it's to ask if I'm willing to do assisting on a catering event, or to tell me that I don't need to come in for whatever reason, being as it's close to the end of the season, and between this week and next week, it's finals. So, yeah. Sorry. So it's kind of like, all right, so you want your 15 minutes worth of fame? So be it. Yeah, I'll give you your 15 minutes worth of fame. Just to call you out as an idiot and to let you know that you're not doing us any harm anymore, because everybody who knows us knows better than what's going on. And anybody who needs to contact us has our numbers, and it will not say unknown caller. It will give me the time of the call, the person who called, and the message. And I can tell you right now, there's very few phone calls that will receive that needs our attention. And I'm not even going to go through the list, but you're not one of them. We don't want your attention, and all you're doing is making yourself look like a bigger and bigger and bigger idiot. You really are. That and the factor to make a phone. The one thing that made me laugh, and I was like, geez, does this person not understand that no matter what they say, they're not going to really get much of attention? They're just going to be like, whatever. Um, first they tried to call Diane to tell us that my mother needed to be ran to the emergency room. I'm like, no, she don't, because if she needed to go to the emergency room, she wouldn't have to call us. She'd just be able to come down to the other side of the house and say, hey, I need somebody to take me up to the emergency room. I'm really not doing good. Second off, to impersonate a medical professional of any kind to try to get us to do something we don't need to do or does not need to be done is, the, you know, something dangerous and stupid. Obviously, this person does not have a clue. Um, and like I said, to call my wife's number instead of finding out what my phone number is and trying that gag with me, I knew right off the bat, since it came from Jerry's number, that it wasn't real. Now, nobody from my employer would call her number to tell me something that I need to know. You know, that in factor, if you're trying to call either one of our numbers and saying that I don't have to go to work or I need to do this or that, first red flag. Unknown caller, unknown number. That's a big red flag right there. Second red flag. I know the voice of all my people who would call me. I know their voices. You weren't one of them. Thirdly, they wouldn't do it in the middle of the night. They would do it, I'm not going to tell you what times, but they would do it at certain times of the day before I have to go to work. Or they would tell me before I left the day before. It's not one of those things that they decide overnight. It takes a while, and they usually give me heads up anywhere from 24 to 48 hours before, unless it's like one of those, oh, we don't have enough people for this catering event. Let's see if we can get people to come in. So yeah, that was stupid and useless and a waste of time. Didn't take me more than 5 seconds to look at it and listen to it and go, hey, bullshit. But anyhow, let's get into the fun. Now, Jerry had recently put it, I think Jerry recently put it on one of her vlogs recently. We had a nice discussion. It started out Saturday night as just an idea, and then Sunday it became a bit of a discussion because I wanted to understand what she was trying to ask me. It's a 5-year plan. And within those 5 years, we're hoping that Jerry will get better. Her back will get better, her leg will get stronger, and she'll be able to start walking, which means she'll be able to go wherever, Texas, New York, Ohio, Vegas, wherever. Second thing on that list would be to get an RV, and we saw some nice RVs through Campers World clearance. They even had one that was like a Class C, which is basically a cargo van. Usually those Class C's run over 150, 135,000. This one was a 2019. No, it was a 2019. Hold on. 2020 Winnebago Class C with one slide out. So that would be like just driving a slightly larger minivan. The other one we saw that we were really interested in was a 2019 Thor Elite, Thor Freedom Elite for I can't remember how much, but it was like almost half price. So it was like 60, 70,000. No, probably, yeah, closer to 60,000. And then we saw a 1990, or I saw a 1999. Um, I don't remember who made it, but it was a Class A, but it looked like it was in fair condition. And they were only asking 30,000. I'm like, that was going to get sold fast. But we have an idea of what we would like to do after her back is healed. The next thing we talked about was the potential of moving back to New York. Not New York City, not Long Island, but upstate New York. Now, as soon as she said that, as soon as she told me about that, I went and I started doing research. I like to do research. I love to do research. But most of the jobs up there, doesn't matter if it's full time or part time, if you're working basically as a entry level crew member on a restaurant or not a restaurant, fast food place like McDonald's, Wendy's, Arby's, whatever. It's $15 an hour. That's like four, three and a half, $3.90 more than I do now. And I looked at the cost of living and whatnot. I'm like, oh wow, cost of living is actually cheaper in upstate New York than what I remembered in Long Island, depending on the city. Like Ithaca, New York. Ithaca, New York is similar to Rolla. It's a small college town. So I can transfer from my current employer or my current location to Ithaca, New York State College. And I was like, but Jerry was saying if we could afford it, I probably would not have to have a full time job. I could probably suffice with a part time job at 15 bucks an hour. And I was like, yeah, yeah. Living upstate New York, it's more wooded, it's more open. It's not so crammed together like a big city. And I was like, sounds like a good plan. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. If I work a part time job during certain times of the year, I can work weekends if we live close enough to Sherwood Forest, which is where they have the New York State Renaissance Fair. And I just went, yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. My problem with the 5 year plan is I get antsy. I've already been here in Missouri for 8 years. Because of my upbringing in the military, every 3 years, I'm ready to move to someplace new. I get the wanderlust. And that's one of my biggest, like, oh, if I had an RV, instead of moving someplace, I can go visit someplace. Granted, if I had an RV, I can go visit someplace new here in America alone until I'm well into my 80s. Because there's all kinds of fun places to go see. That in factory, you've got, like, you can go up in Canada, they've got some nice places to go visit. Things like that. And I, of course, me being the person I am, I went, what about mom? I know mom's not going to want to live up in New York, even upstate New York, especially during the winter times. And Jerry was like, well, we would sit down and talk to mom before we made our final decisions. I know mom wants to move out of here. And I don't mean out of this house. I think she wants to move to a different state or a different location or whatnot. And we had talked about seeing if mom can afford or if mom could, depending on a lot of different facts, like would my aunt and uncle in Ohio be willing to let her stay with them during the summer and then go down to Arizona, or even have an apartment or something here in Raleigh that she can come to during the winters, or if she doesn't want to be in Raleigh because of the winters, maybe head further like Arizona, Florida, someplace, something like that. Um, be a snowbird, which is something she's talked about several different times, just didn't know where. I think it would be more like where she had family that she can get along with. I know it's not that she doesn't get along with her sister, but I know her and her sister, Aunt Sue, has held a bit of a, I don't know if it's a grudge in mom's case, but bad blood. Something happened when they were teenagers and it's just stuck with mom. Um, but I'm pretty sure Dave and Joyce won't mind it because they're empty nesters, and it's like, you know, I'm pretty sure mom would enjoy when the nieces and nephews would visit. Um, I know for the most part the nieces and nephews are, one of them's in her 20s and going to high school. The other one is in her late teens, getting ready to end high school. Wait a minute, did I say that right? 21, and she's in college, not high school. Yeah, she's in college. The 17-year-old is in her senior year of high school, and the 16-year-old, he is, I think, about ready to go into his sophomore years, 11th grade or something like that. They still come in to visit, grandma and grandpa, which is basically my aunt Joyce and Uncle Dave. Um, and I I love it when I go up there and visit because we always have a fairly good time. Um, but that would be between mom and them. If not, it's like, why don't you like have an apartment here in Missouri, and if you think it's going to be too cold, or if you don't want to be here during what could be the winter time, because nowadays I don't think it matters where you go unless you live down like in Dallas or Phoenix, or not Albuquerque, but somewhere in the southern part of New Mexico, where you're going to have days where it could be hot, but you're not going to get freezing cold weather. That's a rarity, but it's becoming more of a reality and less of a rarity. Because Mother Nature is just, between Mother Nature and Father Time, I think things are just kind of like, okay, you guys need to get your clocks in sync or something like that, because it's supposed to be spring, but still feels like winter. Are we going to have the same thing that happened last year where it was like winter, 1 week, 2 week, spring, summer? It's like, don't even give us a month of decent spring weather. Just jump right into summer. Um, and like right now, it's like the last couple days has been chilly and rainy. I have a feeling once this rainy, chilly weather disappears, it's going to be summer. But anyhow, I mean, we've got that nice little 5-year plan. But the thing is, and it's not like I said anything to discourage Jerry, because I was on board with her. But like I think she said it. I don't know if I said it or she said it, but we basically kind of agreed to, that's a great 5-year plan. It's just we don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. That plan can get accelerated if certain things happen with her health and money, or it might not happen at all because of her health and money. So it's one of those like, all right, we'll keep that 5-year plan on the back burner. Um, I'm still kind of like, even if we don't move to upstate New York, if we can get an RV and at least travel and use this place as a home base. Problem is, I have a feeling that mom is going to be like, if you can't put money into the account for the house, I'm just going to put the house up for sale. She don't blame her. It's her house. She can do whatever she wants. And if she can't keep up the bills by herself, which I know she can't, why is she going to live in a nice big house that she can't afford? So, but anywho, I'm going to get off this. I've got to get started on dinner and all that fun jazz. And no, I'm not recording it because it's just going to be a simple, quick, easy dinner. And it's mostly because of the fact that I'm not feeling all that great because of sinuses and the weather brings me down. So, but anyhow, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about this video, go ahead and put those in the question comment box. And if you like this video, even though the first part of it was just me bad-mouthing somebody who's just being foolhardy, you can join or not if you want to. If you decide to join, you can click on that little box down below that says subscribe, and then after that there will be a bell that pops up. You click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I have a new video out. So until next time, you guys have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.